As I mentioned today, we'll be talking about how you can automate the thank you process with Bloomerang and Gratavid. I hope you already know what Gratavid is and what they do, but if you don't, it is a great platform to create those personalized thank yous for your donors. As we all know, personalization is key to building the relationships with your donors, and Gratavid is a great tool to help with that. And to talk about that today is Will Trapp, CEO of Gratavid. Hey, Will.
Hey, hey, how's it
Sorry,
going?
I didn't mean to introduce you just as you were taking a sip of your drink.
All good, all good. I'm jealous. It says 67 and sunny. I'm jealous of that. Someone on chat said it's hot and humid here, and I'm laughing because I can kind of relate to that being in Arkansas.
Yes. Thank you so much, Will, for joining us today, spending part of your time or part of your day talking to us about this. We're really excited to have you.
Awesome, excited to be here.
And I know we have a lot of great content to cover today, so I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen, pull it up. Sweet. So I'm sharing my screen. Thumbs up if everyone can see this. Excellent. Awesome. So my name is Will Trapp, founder at Gratavid. Even got the shirt with the Bloomerang green on today to prove it. But I'm gonna be talking a little bit about Gratavid, set up the platform, and really get into how you can use the Bloomerang and Gratavid integration. Also have Frank from our team who leads customer success, and also Brittany on our marketing team. So let's get to it. Today's agenda, like I said, going to set up Gratavid. We're going to share some stats on why it's important to say thank you. And then we're really going to get into a live integration demo, and then we'll close it out with some Q&A at the end. First and foremost, though, Gratavid is a tool for collecting and sending personalized videos. This is an example on our homepage from Angel's Arms, where they have the whole team saying thank you. And ultimately, this is going to be the experience that your donor receives. So just super clean, super simple, and a beautiful and fun experience. Getting a little bit of my head ahead of myself right here, but the big picture, we'll get into this. You can use Gratavid and the Bloomerang integration to automatically send videos, and you can set up rules. You can say, hey, if a gift comes in and it's over $500 or it's a first-time donor, then you can automatically send something, or you can create a Gratavid task, which is a reminder so that you can record a personalized video. So you can personally thank those donors. Pretty cool integration. So definitely stick around for that. We'll be going a lot more in detail on that. I always love to get started with Gratavid's mission. So Gratavid's mission is to bring human connection to a digital world. We really stand for just this genuine, authentic communication. And we really stand against these like templated, automated, kind of boilerplate emails that just make your donors feel like another name on a spreadsheet. It's funny, when we started Gratavid, we thought the videos that performed the best were like these high produced videos with the perfect lighting and the HD cameras and like the perfect script, but really couldn't be further from the truth. The videos that perform the best on Gratavid are these genuine iPhone videos or this webcam video you can see in this example right here. We found that's what donors really respond to and they relate to. I kind of equate it to like chicken scratch on a handwritten card. Just shows the donor that you're taking time out of your day and thanking them. Awesome. So why even say thanks? You all use Bloomerang. You're fans of Bloomerang. I know you know donor retention, and I know you know donor retention is a major issue facing our industry. We say on average 3 out of 4 donors leave without making a second donation. I actually read a stat from Bloomerang last week that said now it's 20%. So it's 4 out of 5 donors are leaving without making a second donation. So basically, whatever research you read, just a ton of issues with donor retention. Penelope Burke, the legend, she found that 93% of people would definitely or probably give again to a charity that provided a prompt and personal thank you. I wish I could just like end the slides right there. What a powerful number and a powerful piece of research right there. So we know that. We've seen that before. It's not your first time seeing the importance of thank yous, but yet we still don't prioritize the thank you. What the heck? We still do not prioritize it. And I get it, because when you think about the thank you options, we charted them out on the vertical and horizontal axis. I couldn't tell you which one's X and Y. I try to remember, but I can't. But you can see on the left axis is impact, and on the bottom axis is the time it takes. Bottom left, that's just the automated thank you receipts that are low impact, that you can send them out really quickly. We can't confuse these with a genuine thank you. When a donor receives that right after they make a donation, that's an email they're just putting in their Gmail folders, and they're filing that away until it's time to do taxes. On the far end of the spectrum, you got the handwritten cards and the phone calls. Those are amazing. Gratavid, we're never going to tell you not to do those. Handwritten card, what's a fun, genuine way to reach out. And a phone call is just a great way to collect data, collect that data about that donor. What are their interests? Why they give? What are their passions? However, there's just a lot of administrative work that goes into that. If it's a phone call, you got to figure out what's the donor's number. Is it the right number? Is it a landline? Are they going to answer? We've seen that 80% of people are not even answering phone calls right now because spam is so out of control. And then handwritten card, again, they're great, but it takes a lot of time and you got to make sure you have the right address. And then this is where we see personalized video fitting in. So it can have just as much impact because you can say thank you. You can have a testimonial from someone that's benefited from that donation. However, it just doesn't take nearly as much time as the handwritten card and the phone call. So this is a great way to plot this. And we like to say it's not an or strategy. So you shouldn't do personalized video or handwritten cards, an and strategy. So send a personalized video. If you get a good response, hey, maybe make a phone call. Or if you really like phone calls, send a phone call. And if that goes to voicemail or the donor doesn't respond, then send a video saying, hey, I just called you, wanted to introduce myself. Let me know if you have any questions. Would love to jump on a call. I love this quote from Mike Sally. He says, it takes me less time to do a personal video than to write, edit, and send letters that are not as personal. My donors are super impressed with my Gratavids, and they mention they have never felt so seen and appreciated. So just goes to show you can get these personalized videos done in such quicker time, and you're not going to sacrifice any impact. Another piece of research that I absolutely love, I pretty much share this on anytime I'm presenting. This is from Dr. Jen Shang. She found that donors pay the most attention to the thank you communication. So we all as fundraisers, we stress about open rates and click-through rates, and are my donors going to reply? But we don't really think about when they're most likely to respond and engage. That's the thank you communications, when donors pay the most attention right there. So knowing that, we really should think of the thank you as an opportunity. We shouldn't think of it as some kind of task or some kind of chore that we have to do. Think of it as an opportunity. Your donor is going to be paying attention. What an opportunity to start that relationship, to collect that information, and then use that information to steward that donor throughout their lifetime. Julie Cooper, she's amazing. If you don't know her, you probably do. She's pretty involved in Bloomerang, but she's the one that really that made me think about the thank you as an opportunity. She's just an incredible fundraiser, an incredible consultant. And she says the gift should start the process of bonding the donor to the cause. The thank you forms that communication. So this thank you, it's genuine, it's personal. It's really going to start that relationship. And then John Hayden, I think he summarized it best when he said, thanking is not about the past. Thinking is about the future. So again, it's all about that opportunity. Sweet. I love those slides. They get me fired up every time I read them. How powerful. So that is the importance of why, or that is the reasons of why it's important to say thanks. And so now we can get into the Gratavid and Bloomerang integration. So before I get started, I'm just on the Gratavid website right here. I'm going to set up Gratavid for a few minutes, kind of see how it works, what our dashboard looks like. And then once I've set it up, then you'll understand Gratavid. That's really when I can get into the nuts and bolts of the integration. But to get started, I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to click on this example we looked at. And so I really love this example from Mercy Multiplied, because what they do is every time they get a new gift in over $500 or first-time donors, whatever the threshold is, they record and send a personalized video up front. So this is Carrie thanking Hunter and Brittany for just making a donation. And then their second video, this is a client testimonial. This is Amber. She's someone who went through the Mercy Multiplied program, had a huge impact on her life. And in this video, she's talking about the impact that Mercy Multiplied has made on her life. From the Mercy Multiplied perspective, this is a great strategy because they just need to request this testimonial one time. So imagine that a student testimonial, a client testimonial, your president, your ED saying thanks. You just collect that one time, a board member, whatever it is, collect that one time. You're going to share that over and over and over again. And then you as a fundraiser, you as anyone, you're just going to spend a few seconds personalizing that video up front. So it's a really, really incredible strategy. It worked great with Gratavid and worked great with the integration. Sweet. So this is Gratavid, and ultimately, this is what your constituent will receive right here. I'm going to go up to Gratavid. I'm going to click Login, and then now I can show you the platform. Sweet. So this is what it's going to look like when you're logged into Gratavid. You've got a few main sections. The first section is your notes section. So think of this like your campaigns. If you're familiar with Constant Contact or MailChimp, this is where you kind of build out those campaigns. You got your video section right here, so your video assets will live. So maybe you do have a powerful testimonial, save it right there. You can reuse it over and over again. And then finally, you have your contact section. So that's where you bulk import contacts, just like you would MailChimp, and you're going to send a video out to 1,000 people or 5,000 people or whatever. But let's get started on notes. So I just created this note. It's called Project Apoyo Thank You Post Donation. I'm going to use Project Apoyo as an example. It's one of my favorite nonprofits, but this is where you edit the note, where you edit the campaign. So again, think like you're editing a campaign in MailChimp, same kind of concept here. You're editing this campaign in Gratavid, except the big difference is Gratavid's going to have videos. Sweet. So you can see I've got my sender name right there. I've added some messaging like, hey, we appreciate all you do. Thanks for your donation. And then on our videos right here, we've got this testimonial from Roberto, someone who received the entrepreneur grant through Project Apoyo. And then the second video is a more polished marketing video. So imagine this is some kind of file they uploaded. And so now we have two great videos on here. And just like you'd expect, you can kind of build this campaign out. You could select who you want to send it to. You can import a list right here, queue it up to send in bulk. You could add call to action buttons like donate now or learn more. You can customize the emails, again, just like you'd expect a MailChimp, customize that subject. And then once you're ready, you can come down here and you can send it off. So that would be the process for sending a Gratavid out to 10,000 people or 1,000 people. And then the integration is cool because anytime a constituent watches that video or replies, it'll automatically flow back into Bloomerang. More on that here in a bit. Sweet. So I just showed you create a campaign, send it in bulk. The other thing this is used for is it's going to be used as our template when we're sending one-to-one personalized videos. That way we don't have to design this template every single time. So if I come into my task list, which is my favorite section of Gratavid, this is where you're going to send one-to-one personalized videos. So you can see right here, I've got John Jacobs, made a $1,000 donation, need to record John a personalized video. After that, I've got Katie right here, made a $500 donation, need to click and record Katie a personalized video. So you can see the task list is just a list of personalized videos you need to record. Cool thing about the task list is you can add it in 3 ways. You can add task one at a time. So you can say, hey, Will made a donation. You can add task in bulk. So you could prepare a CSV file. You could have a file saying, hey, we want to thank these 20 donors or these 50 donors personally, import that into Gratavid. And the third way, which is we're going to get into, is you can automatically create tasks through the Bloomerang integration. You can say, hey, when a gift comes in, automatically create me a Gratavid task. But before we get there, I want to show you one cool thing about tasks is we hear this over and over again, that tasks are special because it makes it really easy for my team to collaborate. Because what you can do is you can say, hey, these 3 tasks right here, we are going to assign these. How about all these 4? We're going to assign these to our executive director. So Sarah ED, pretty creative name for an executive director. And then these 3 bottom tasks, we're going to assign these to Jared Officer, pretty creative name for development officer. And so now you can tell the team, hey, log into Gratavid and then just complete those tasks assigned to you. And so it's a really great way to kind of empower the team and kind of cue them up for success. It's a really great way to collaborate. Another nice thing is notice how I assigned some of these to my executive director, but maybe my executive director is busy and we don't really want to have to train them to log into Gratavid. So we have something called assignee links. And so you can click this right here. And essentially this is just a private URL. And so I could copy and paste this. I could share that back with my ED. And then without having to log into Gratavid or without having to train them, Sarah ED, simply just click start. And then they can record these videos. So they'd say, hey, Will, thanks so much for being a first-time donor. Then they're on to Sarah. Sarah, thanks so much for your $350 donation. I don't know why I did my hands like this, but hey, I get the idea. But it just makes it really easy to collaborate and to get the whole team involved on creating these videos. And then once you're ready, you come right here. You can see I just recorded this, but I've thanked Will. And then this is where those templates are going to come in. And so remember that template I just showed you, that note I just showed you? You'd select that. And you can see it's going to merge in that donor's name. And it's going to have our same messaging right here. And so now if I click preview, you can see it's that personalized video I just recorded, thanking that donor for just making that donation. And then it's going to go to that generic testimonial from Roberto. And then finally, that kind of marketing produced video we had. And so without a doubt, this is the most effective Gratavid strategy, that personalized video followed by a powerful testimonial. Then you simply come right here, you'd send that off to Will. you did that video, and then you kind of work your way down. So now you're going to record Sarah's video, going to record John's video, and then you're going to record Katie's video. And then what this is going to look like, give that a second to come in. There we go. So this is what it's going to look like for your constituents right here. And then our favorite tip, imagine this is the donor opening up their inbox. Our favorite tip is to grab a whiteboard or a piece of paper and write your contact's name on it, because the second Will opens up his inbox and he sees this video personalized to him, he's immediately going to recognize that this was made for him. That's not some kind of automated generic email. So he's just much more likely to click on that, engage with that, watch their video. Wowzers, that's a lot of talking, but that is the Gratavid task list. And the cool thing about that too is you have the history right here. You can see who's clicking on it, who's engaging with it. Sweet. So that sets up Gratavid. Now we can talk the integration, but just remember, notes for sending things in bulk can act as your templates, and task is where you're going to send and create those one-to-one personalized videos. So if I come up here and I go to integrations, I'm going to click on the Bloomerang integration right here. You can see I've already connected. It literally takes like 5 seconds to connect. But once you've connected, there's 4 different integration events you can turn on. The first one and my absolute favorite is you can say when a new donation is added in Bloomerang, take some action within Gratavid. So for example, anytime a donation is added, whether that's added from our online giving form or a bulk import, you want to notify Gratavid. And then let's just say, hey, automatically send that note we just created. So literally anytime a donation comes in, Gratavid will automatically send that post-donation thank you we just set up. However, you're probably like, whoa, that's too much automation. Like we don't want to send that every time. And so we usually see the default rule is to do nothing, but you can add some rules in here. So you could say, hey, if that donation that came in is greater than or equal to $500, then I want you to create a task, and I want you to assign that task to that development officer, Jared officer. Then you'd save that. And so now literally anytime a gift comes in, if it's over $500, it's going to automatically create that Gratavid task for you. Cool thing about this is you can add multiple conditions. So you could say, hey, if it's over $500 and it's tied to a specific campaign, and then the cool thing about this is these campaigns are going to pull directly from your Bloomerang account. So we've seen this a lot, especially as people are kind of prepping for Giving Tuesday or their Giving Day. They just want to thank people that are giving to that Giving Day campaign. You'd select that campaign right here. Pretty creative names with like first campaign, fourth campaign, but hey, y'all get the idea there. And then not only can you use one rule, but you can add multiple rules. So for example, probably the most common setup is the first rule says if it's the constituent's first donation. So we talked about donor retention for first-time donors. It's really, really important you thank those first-time donors, kind of welcome into your organization. So you can say, hey, if it's a constituent's first donation, I want you to create a Gratavid task, and then let's assign these to our executive director. Then it'll work its way down. So if it's not a first-time donation, then it's going to go check to see if this is true. If the donation's greater than or equal to, let's do $400, create a task, and then we'll assign those to our development officer, Jared officer. So it just goes to show a lot of cool ways you can kind of build these integrations and add these conditions and add these rules. You can filter based off the gift amount. If it's a constituent's first donation, did someone increase their giving? If the donation type is any of these, and what fund, campaign, package, or appeal it's in, and even what state the constituent lives in. Sweet, so that looks pretty good. Set that up. Again, think of that kind of like waterfall. It'll evaluate top down. So if this is true, this will run, nothing else will run. If that's not true, then it'll work its way down. And then a really cool thing too, is you can add some exclusions. So you might not want to thank it every time a recurring donation payment comes in. So like that second and third automated payment, might want to exclude those. You can exclude in-kind gifts and even stuff like pledges. So that way it will not trigger the integration. Cool. So that's the new donation added in Bloomerang. And then that's all about taking data from Bloomerang and doing something with that Gratavid. But the other events, you can say, hey, anytime I send a Gratavid task, I want that to automatically update Bloomerang, update that constituent record. Anytime a reply comes in, so a constituent replies, save that in Bloomerang. And then anytime a constituent watches the Gratavid, automatically save that in Bloomerang. Then the cool thing too is you can customize how it's saved. So you could save this as like an email, Then the purpose of it, impact cultivation, same kind of concept with all these. Sweet. And that is the integration. I'll show you what it looks like. So I sent this right before we started. But you can see Sarah Bloomerang right here. Again, pretty creative name. New donation for 350. And the cool thing is, because this was created through Bloomerang, we have this little link right here that says view in Bloomerang. And so if you click that, it's going to take you directly to the timeline for that constituent, directly to the timeline for that donor. So it's just a really easy way for you to kind of check out that donor, maybe figure out who their spouse is, their lifetime giving, really help you personalize that video. And then once you sent it, remember those integration events we turned on. We said, hey, when we send a Gratavid, automatically update that in Blackbox, or update that in Bloomerang. And so this is what it's going to look like right here. So if I click email, sent Gratavid, there you can see right here, Gratavid task completed by, new donation. And then you even can follow those links right there. Same kind of concept for watches. You can see right here, Gratavid watched all the way through. And then the reply right here. And so you can see someone replied, I love it. How can I give more? Guaranteed response from all your constituents when you send them a Gratavid. So it just goes to show, nice way to where you don't have to think about, is this data going to be saved back in Bloomerang? Gratavid's going to automatically handle that for you. And for the most part, that is the Gratavid and Bloomerang integration. Awesome. So that's all I got for my side. Frank, I know you've been working covering those Q&As. Any Q&A or any questions from the audience?
Yeah, there's a handful. If you want to click in. So the one question that just came up was, so can we can pull a Gratavid video into an email newsletter sent from Bloomerang. And so what Will showed you, and if you want to show them really quick, you can actually embed Gratavid, those GIFs or GIFs, into your email template. So if you're going to send that out through your Bloomerang email, you actually can bring those in. That question was asked of us yesterday, so Will's very familiar with doing this, and it's relatively simple.
Yeah, do you have a link to that in our help center?
Yeah.
It might be a good one to share. So here's what you can do. You could say content, add an image, and then you go into Gratavid, you grab your video. I'll just use this video. Let me save this real quick. And then you grab your Gratavid link. So this is the campaign we've designed. So instead of sending it through Gratavid, we're going to get that link right here. This is just a preview. So I'm going to copy the live link, paste it right there. So this is our Gratavid. This is what we're going to share with our constituents. So now I go into Bloomerang, and then I upload that image I just downloaded. I actually did this yesterday, so it's already uploaded. Sweet. And so you can essentially rebuild this template. And then what you do right here is you just make the action link. You make this the Gratavid link right here. Awesome. So that's a way that gives you a lot more control. There's another way it doesn't give you quite as much control. It's called embedding. So imagine you just want to do it kind of the quick and easy way. You can say, hey, add some HTML. And then you can go into Gratavid. And instead of building that yourself, you click embed code or embed video, copy and paste that. So that gives you the code. And then you go back in here. Oops, didn't save it. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. And so now you can embed that directly within Gratavid. And notice how this kind of has that formatting. That's because it's using our code. If you don't like the formatting, just do that kind of first example I showed you. And embedding is really cool when you want to send stuff out of like your own Gmail or Outlook account. I can just come here and say, hey, da, da, da. Then I can paste that video directly in there. So that's the real purpose of that embed code, but it works great with the Bloomerang templates. Great question.
If I may say so too, I love this because if you're personally emailing a constituent or a donor from your email address and embedding the video in there, you can also BCC Bloomerang so that all of that record is tracked in there on their timeline.
Love it. I like it. Genius. That's cool. Yeah, and we like this too because you can do it from the task level as well. So that's sending in bulk, but probably if you're sending a personalized video, just grab an existing video just for sake of time. And so instead of sending it through Gratavid, embed video. Awesome. So same kind of concept. And then to your point, Diana, add BCC, Bloomerang BCC. If you want to attach like a PDF or anything, it just gives you full control. And then I love it because you still have like the whiteboard right here. We see people, a lot of people using this, especially or maybe before the country was kind of opening back up. They'd send these not necessarily to solicit money, but to solicit like a coffee date or like a walk around town or something like that, or a walk around your facilities. And so this is just kind of a great way to grab someone's attention. And then in the video, you say, hey, we'd love to go grab coffee or would love to grab lunch. So just a great way to kind of stand out and grab some attention. Cool. Any other questions, Frank?
Yeah, so there's some in that I answered, but I think it's just helpful if you want to talk it through as well. So one question is, are these most successful as thank yous, post gift? Do you have clients who use these to create equivalent of monthly newsletters, like a monthly video? So I don't know if you want to talk about water at work. That's a really good one, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, really both. I mean, we see people use Gratavid. The people that I think use it the best, they kind of mix and match it. So they might use like a MailChimp type newsletter every month and then rotate, Gratavid's the next month. An example is Water at Work right here. So they call it Water Wednesdays and they send something like this out every Wednesday. Sometimes they just do like a social post for Water Wednesday. So it's not Gratavid. Sometimes they send something through MailChimp. And then sometimes I'll send something through Gratavid. So this is a generic video. Then it has like a nice little testimonial video at the end. And then really to answer your question, Water at Work's a good example. They'll do their donation thank yous with Gratavid. So always doing those like one by one personalized videos. And then they'll do like the newsletters too. So I don't think it has to be an or strategy. Definitely use Gratavid for the personalized thank yous. And then if you're having success with those, and you have some kind of newsletter, use Gratavid for your newsletters as well.
Perfect, thank you. And then one question was, can the video be opened with any browser? I'll let you answer.
Yeah, for sure. We spend a ton of time testing Gratavids on like Internet Explorer, Opera, all the browsers out there. To be honest with you, we don't spend a ton of time on the internal account. So we don't test our internal account on like Internet Explorer and Opera. We recommend you use Google Chrome for this, but this is not going to be what your donors see. Your donors are just going to see something like this. And then this is the page, we test over and over again on older browsers. Good question.
And then another question is, how long is the typical video? Is there an ideal length?
Yeah, we say short as you can keep it. I mean, honestly, these like 30 seconds, minute videos, like minute max. And I think that's one kind of nice thing about Gratavid. I'll go back to this Angel's Arm example. So they wanted to do a thank you video from everyone on the team. If that was just one long video, it might be like 3 minutes long, which feels really long. But since it's kind of got this Instagram stories approach going on, it kind of breaks things up. And so in total, it might be 2 minutes or a minute or 3 minutes, but because it's all broken up, it feels a lot shorter. So it feels much more engaging. But yeah, typically shortest is best. And that's what's nice too about the strategy of having a personalized video up front. So like Mercy Multiplied, because the personalized video, you don't have to worry about doing the heavy lifting. You're simply just saying that donor's name, kind of welcoming them and say, hey, feel free to call me. And then the testimonial, this is really what's going to do the heavy lifting. That's going to tug at the heartstrings. That's going to hit all the key points. So it kind of takes the pressure off of you as the recorder, feeling like you have to hit all those perfect points. The testimonial, the generic video is going to do that for you.
Another question, it's kind of similar questions. So it goes along the lines of, can you create the marketing videos in Gratavid? And then the second question where you can kind of group this together is there any light video editing capabilities within the platform?
Yeah. So go to videos. And one thing I didn't show everyone, Frank, you gonna do this for me real quick? Probably the killer feature of Gratavid is the request video functionality. So I can record videos from here, but probably the coolest thing is you can say request new video. I'll say Frank Mumford Bloomerang request. I hear a little Southern twang. I'm not the best speller in the world, so bear with me if I spelled something wrong. But imagine I want to request a video from Frank. He's like my executive director, my board member, or he's just the testimonial I want to collect. So I'm going to add his name right there. I'm going to say some directions. I'll say thank Will for the demo. And then you can add bullet points. I can mention his dog, Rue, who's not in here, so that's not as funny, but y'all get the idea. And then right from Gratavid, you can send that recorder a text message. So it's just a really simple way to request videos. You know, we see people use this all the time with like their board members or their leadership team, or really anyone you want to. You know, we always say use this to bring your donors to the scene. If I click on this, this is going to be what Frank is recording right here. This is what Frank is going to see. It's going to have his name right here, so that recorder knows what to say, and that's going to have these directions right here. And so it just simplifies that process of collecting the videos. Frank won't have to log in. They don't have to be a user on your account, and they receive it via text message. So you know they're going to see it. And then when Frank uploads that video, did you get it, Frank? Awesome. So give it a second to come in. When Frank uploads that video, that's when I'll be able to answer your question that you can record these videos, or sorry, you can edit these videos, and then you can trim them, and you even can generate closed captions for it. And then what's nice too is that's when you can like, hey, say, hey, let's slide this video up to the front right here. There it is. So the video came in. I love it. There's our guy. And so this is what it's going to look like when the video comes in, or if you uploaded a video, you can watch it right here. You can even resend these. So maybe if someone said the donor's name wrong, you could resend it. And then from a marketing perspective, we see a lot of people just use Gratavid to collect videos. Like your communications team can use Gratavid just to collect testimonials. You can come right here. You can download those videos. You can then add those videos to social media or some kind of an event you got going on. Just have full control over that. But then to answer your question, you can trim these videos. Maybe they're too short or too long. And then you can automatically generate closed captions for videos. And the cool thing is we support over 100 different languages. So maybe the testimonial is in Spanish, but your donors are English speakers. You can convert those from Spanish to English and vice versa. Once they're generated, pretty long video there. You said, hey, thank you so much. Take care. But if you want to, you can edit this. You know, maybe it misspelled someone's name wrong. And then right from here, you can say, hey, let's add a new language. So let's convert this from English to, let's do Spanish. There we go. So you can see over 100 different languages right here. So you definitely have some basic video editing functionality within Gratavid. Cool. So Spanish is done. There we go. Love it. Sweet. Hopefully that answered your question. And then video requests, I showed you just requesting videos one at a time. You can also request them in bulk from the videos page. That's really what started Gratavid, which is the ability to request videos, send those via email. Then we added sending videos via text message, requesting videos via text. And then integrations have been a big part of our summer and past year, so to speak. Any other questions you can think of?
Yeah. So let me go back to here. There was one question on the names on the whiteboards. It was just around, can they be done dynamically or is that manually done?
Yeah, manually done. Technically, you could do it manually, but it's never going to look kind of raw and as authentic as this. And that's what we think is really key to Gratavid. Problem is when you start doing dynamically, then your donors start knowing they're done dynamically. And for us, it's so much more than just a name. I mean, a name is kind of like a flashy way to get their attention, but you can personalize it in so many ways. Like, hey, I can't believe you've been given since 2010. If you have more information about that donor in Bloomerang, say, how's your daughter Sarah doing? I know she's close to graduating high school. Like those are the kind of moments that Gratavid really powers. You can totally send stuff in bulk, but really, what makes Gratavid great and our clients that get the most out of Gratavid, they truly are using it for that one-to-one personalization and thanking donors and connecting with them on their name, their passions, and some of that donor data you already have in Bloomerang.
Awesome. And then another question was around social. So if you want to talk about like how that all works, and as well as the ability to capture some of these videos, because one question that does come up is around galas and actually gathering these videos from the request to use in a more marketing, highly professionally done video. So two things.
Yeah. So kind of like I was saying, if you just want to use it for some kind of event you have and you want to collect videos, you can send those videos requests off in bulk. So you'd come to videos, add video. It says need to request multiple videos, use bulk editor. And so essentially what you do here is you prepare a CSV file. So you can send off 50 requests at once, 50 texts at once, asking someone to record their video. And then once you have those videos, you can review them and then you can download those. And then once you download them, that's going to put it on your local computer. You can add that really to anything you want to, post it to social media. You also can share these links on social media. So if I come down here, there's a section on share settings, and then you can control how they're going to be shared. So for example, you can change the share title and then the share description right there. And then you just essentially share that link directly on any social site you want to. And then the last thing is if you do want to collect videos, but you're not exactly sure who's going to be sending those videos in, you can say reply settings and you can allow video replies. And so now if I come up here, I preview this as a contact. Now you can see I've got this nice camera right here. So in your video, you could say, hey, we're collecting a bunch of videos. Talk about the impact project Deploy has made on you. Click below to add your video. They click reply right there. Then they could submit a video request. Works great on your computer, and it works great on your phone as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Will. Another question was around sharing these on social media. And do you want to talk about the ability to either copy and put it into your own social media, as well as you could take these and embed them on your website also?
Yeah. So kind of like I was saying, you can control what it's going to look like when you get on social media. You can change these like share titles right here. And then this is what the link would be. So you just essentially copy and paste that. And now you can add it on your Facebook page or your Twitter page or anywhere you share a link. I guess you could click these as well. There's the star of the show right there. So you can share that directly to your Facebook page or whatever. And then what was the second part of your question?
So someone asked about actually embedding these onto their website.
Yeah. Same kind of concept as Bloomerang templates right here. You could just grab the Gratavid video, add that, and then link to it. Or you could use our embed code. You could embed that directly on your website.
Awesome. And then there's a handful of questions on just pricing. So the one is, I see the base plan starts at $129 a month. What does that include? And then options, because this is a platform above and beyond your normal Bloomerang pricing. And then second question to that is other integrations. Someone talked about Give Butter and how Bloomerang, Give Butter, and Gratavid can all talk.
Yeah. So first thing is just pricing. So big picture, Gratavid prices you based on the number of contacts you want to use a Gratavid. So for example, if you have 1,000 contacts, that's going to be our starter plan. It's $129 a month. And the great thing about that is it's going to include unlimited sends. So you don't have to worry about how many sends you're sending, unlimited videos, unlimited team members. So add your full team, custom branding, ability to request videos via text, the call to action buttons I showed you, captioning. We pretty much get everything. The only thing it does not include is the ability to send via text message. That's if you want to send to your donors via text. Requesting via text is included. And then it doesn't include the Bloomerang integration. the Bloomerang integration is just $10 per month. So it's about 10% of your base plan. And then the last thing is something called branded links. So if you'll notice, when Gratavids are sent by default, they're going to send from hello@gratavid.com. But we have something called branded domains that allows that to send directly from your domain. And then once you've set up branded domains, not only will it send from your domain right here, but instead of it saying Gratavid in the URL right there, it's going to say your domain name. Here's an example from Juilliard. And so notice there's no mention of Gratavid in the URL right here. So it really is truly that kind of branded experience. And like there's no mention of Gratavid anywhere on this page. So that's some of the extras on there. And then what was the second part of that question? These two phrase questions are
No, you're good. So then the other question was around Give Butter. So within integrations, where say they have Give Butter set up as well as Bloomerang, how does that all work together?
Yeah, so in that case, I would not worry about Give Butter, because what's going to happen is, assuming Give Butter flows to Bloomerang, Gratavid's just going to listen to Bloomerang. And so even if it is a Give Butter donation comes in, Gratavid's going to see that in Bloomerang, and then that will trigger Gratavid. In theory, you could set up a Zapier integration directly between Give Butter and Gratavid, but since you have Bloomerang, I wouldn't worry about that. No need to worry about that. You've got data in Give Butter, that flows to Bloomerang. I think Gratavid's going to read directly from Bloomerang and update the constituent record, video watch directly back in Bloomerang. Great question.
Next question is, since videos are data heavy, how does Gratavid limit data load for the videos, including how they impacts download time, storage on the local machine, etc., just as you begin to build that video library?
Yeah, so we compress videos. It's one reason we don't recommend, like if you've got like a 4K high definition video that's like a documentary or something, we would actually recommend upload that on YouTube or Vimeo. And then you can send a Gratavid, maybe from like the director of that. We work with Film at Lincoln Center, they do this. So you can have like a video from the director, record the video, and then the call to action button below that could be a link to like the full documentary on YouTube or the full documentary on Vimeo. And one of the reasons we compress the videos is so that they load really quick. So you notice like every time I go to one of these Gratavids, let's go to this one right here, the videos load pretty quick. That's because we compress them pretty heavily. That way they load quick and it's not asking for much on your users. Go to another one. So it's kind of cool. So load pretty quick because we spend a ton of time figuring out compression and compress them pretty good. And then when you send them via email, one of the first reasons Gratavid got started was because we heard from so many people of like, I've got a video, but I tried to send it via email and it's too large, or I uploaded it to Google Drive and my donor couldn't get into Google Drive. And so that's why Gratavid, we send the GIF or a GIF right here. So it's a real lightweight way to send a video essentially. And then they click this, and then that takes them to that page we designed. So long answer your question is we compress videos. We're definitely conscious of bandwidth, and we're not storing these on anyone's device. So it's not taking up any long-term memory. It's just going to be when they're watching it, when they're on this page. Good question. Any other questions? I love it.
Yeah, so just a couple of questions on the branded domains. It is an additional cost, and then someone was asking how much. And then one thing I do want to preface, as far as I am sharing pricing in the Q&A, a lot of times we can be flexible based on your budget and your organization size. And so just know that if you do want to talk more about some more customized pricing, that's what we're here for. So there is some flexibility within that.
Yeah. We typically charge $500 per year for branded domains. That's because we just have a cost associated kind of setting these up. But I mean, to be honest with y'all, and transparent, one thing we've talked about, especially with Bloomerang, we've talked to the Bloomerang team a lot about this, is maybe we have some kind of lower price point where it's like, hey, up to 500 contacts, you're paying maybe not half of that, but somewhere around that. So I'd say, don't let price be a barrier. If you want to use Gratavid, just say, hey, do you think we could use it? Here's our situation. Here's our budget. I'd like to get it. underneath where we don't have to go to the board for approval, or whatever your situation is. We'll find a way to work with you. It's one of the philosophies about Gratavid is, we're kind of small by design. This is our whole team right here. You'll get to know us. We'll get to know you. We always joke, we'll call you by your name and remind you that you're human, and that, you're not just another name on a spreadsheet to us. And that's kind of where, we'll work with you. If you really like Gratavid, can't fit it in your budget, or your budget can do this, and we usually can find a solution that works for everyone. We don't have like some overlord investor company that like tells us, hey, you can't do this price. We'll normally try and make it work for you.
And so another question, Will, for you is, how did you build this Bloomerang integration?
Love it. So Bloomerang has a really good API. So let's do this. So throughout Gratavid, you'll see these little question marks right here. So for example, imagine you're on like the notes page or the task page, or maybe the contacts page. You're like, I can't remember how to import contacts. Click the question mark right there, takes you directly to our help center. So we spend a ton of time on our help center. And so same thing for Bloomerang. I click this little question mark right here. This takes me to our help center on Bloomerang. And then you can see in the data section, yep. So this talks about kind of security and data flow of the integration. And then we say right here, we connect via the Bloomerang REST API. So Bloomerang has a great REST API. It's built on OAuth 2.0, which is the standard for these kind of integrations. And so this is how we built it. And the technical term is called polling. So essentially, we'll poll your new donations every hour. We'll say, hey, what donations came in the past hour? And then we'll check for those, and then see your rules.
I'm laughing because I don't think we wanted that in-depth. Well, I think it was like, how did you come up with the idea to do new donation added? Not like the OAuth.
I was like, I'll bring out the code. I love it. I'm like, I love that question.
Spare us all that.
The reality is, we get asked that all the time. Like, how'd you think of Gratavid? The reality is we didn't. So kind of like I said, we started with, someone wanted to be able to send a video via email, but it was like too big, or they didn't want to go through Google Drive. So we add that feature. And then someone was like, hey, I'd love to be able to request videos via text. So then you add that feature, and then you build out the Bloomerang integration. And someone's like, hey, it'd be amazing if every time a GIF came in, that could automatically create a Gratavid task for me. And we're like, yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. So we figured out how to build it. And then right when we built this, we only had the capability of filtering based off dollar amount. So you had to say like, hey, if the gift is greater than XYZ. And then someone was like, hey, I read some of Steven's research from Bloomerang. It's amazing. And he talks about the importance of thanking first-time donors. And we're like, duh, we should totally add that. And so now you can add filters like, if it's a constituent's first donation, create a task and assign it to someone. So it's a long-winded answer of saying like, we really didn't think of all this. It's just been a collective and feedback from our existing clients, our existing friends, as we call them. And that's really been the story of Gratavid. It's just day by day, iterative, project by project, or feature by feature. Those just kind of stacking up over time. Small iterative changes over time have kind of really built us to where we are now. And then if anyone's interested, Friday, tomorrow, we're announcing probably our biggest feature yet. And so Frank or Britt, one of y'all have the link to that? We're going to post that. Sign up for it. It's amazing. I wish I could talk more about it right now. Because this time tomorrow I could. But it is meant, this feature goes live, it's meant really to make it more collaborative. So it's really meant to simplify Gratavid. So it's going to be really easy to get all of your fundraisers involved, your whole team involved. And then it works amazing with the Bloomerang integration. We've actually been testing this with a lot of Bloomerang users, and they love the new feature. So I think we posted that.
Britt's normally faster than me, but I just also wanted to put Amy's name on a whiteboard for her, since she asked about that. The other question that came up, Will, was can you show more of the if statements? Can you do that drop down and just kind of give a high level?
Yeah, can y'all see these?
Yeah.
So you can say if the donation is greater than or equal to a certain amount. So, maybe you just want to personally thank this is a pretty common approach. You could say, hey, any gift over 500, we want to make sure that person is personally thanked. Any gift less than that, just send some kind of generic thank you video. So they still get the impact story. They just don't get that personalized video up front. So that's where you would use if the donation amount's greater than or equal to. You can say if it's a constituent's first donation, did they upgrade? So did the donor increase their giving amount from their previous gift? You can say if the donation is any of these types. So maybe you want to thank, first time people setting up a recurring donation, or if they make some kind of, in-kind donation. And then you can say if the donation is from any of these funds will pull directly from your account. Campaigns, appeals, and states. States probably don't apply to everyone, but work with some people, like some regional organizations. And so they might have someone that's in charge of Arkansas, someone that's in charge of Alabama, someone that's in charge of Texas. So it's just a kind of cool way to filter there.
Awesome. And then thank you for that, Will. Another question was, have you checked platform for accessibility for screen readers? Do you happen to know how accessible it is? And that is a question we do get asked a lot.
Oh yeah, that's why captions are so important. So a lot of times we see people like bake captions into the video, which is terrible for screen readers. They can't see that. So our captions are separate files that screen readers can read, following the kind of standard web protocol there. And then we spend a ton of time on these pages, making sure they're accessible. And so we've got some certification, I think it's called VPAT certification, that we're happy to send anyone that wants to learn more about the accessibility for these pages. To be honest with you, it's kind of not easy, but it's nice because it's so simple. This is what your donor sees. It's not like any other stuff. You don't have to train them on it. And so we just need to perfect these pages essentially and make sure we have high accessibility on these pages and the videos run fast. It's not like we're designing 20 different pages that your donor is going to see. We just make sure that this template, so to speak, is accessible, and we can really focus in and dedicate a lot of time and resources to it.
And we do work with a couple schools for the blind, as well as organizations who support hearing impaired as well. And so we see a lot and have actually worked with them hand in hand on the captions to make sure that we were had the best product there for their people.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. It's a specific. Yeah, here we go. So they're called web VTT tracks. It's like the technical term of almost like the layer underneath the video that screen readers can read. Again, probably TMI, but I love getting in the nuts and bolts.
Yeah. So here's another question for you, Will. So within the base plan, it talks about 1,000 contacts. Can you just explain a little more what that exactly means?
Yeah, so think of that as any one point in time within Gratavid. So your Bloomerang account might have 5,000 or 10,000 people in it. You don't have to bring all those into Gratavid. You can be, selective, first-time donors, new donors, or maybe you just want to send something to your top 100 donors or top 1,000 donors. And so basically on your contact section, you can have up to 1,000 contacts at once. The cool thing is you can delete people out of here. So maybe you send something to 1,000 people, 500 people don't engage. You can delete those 500. Now you're at 500 contacts in Gratavid. You can upload 500 completely new ones. So it's really at any point in time. We kind of think of that as, when you're sending something in bulk, you just don't want to send to more than 1,000 people at once. If you do want to send to more than 1,000 people at once through Gratavid, that's where you get into a bigger plan.
Otherwise, you use the embed feature for MailChimp or through your Bloomerang account that you're already paying for.
Yeah, that's a very common use case of Gratavid. So people just say, hey, we're really going to use Gratavid to kind of build these templates, collect videos. We're going to continue sending in bulk through Bloomerang. And then we're going to use Gratavid for these one-to-one stewardship moments, these personalized videos. That's really, in my opinion, where Gratavid's the strongest. Using the task list, assigning tasks to the team, getting the team to collaborate, and then thanking these donors as the new gifts come in.
Thank you. And then one question. I have some blind residents who have their emails automatically read to them. If a video is sent, can we have the video automatically start after the content of the email is read? And I wanted to let you answer that live because it's a lot to type.
On the email, we can't, I don't know, I'm pretty sure, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think we can. I haven't done a ton of research on that. It would probably depend on what program they have reading these emails to them. But we do add an alt tag on these videos. You can see when I hover, it says watch video now. And so that tells screen readers that, hey, this is a video. And if they click on this, that'll take them to the page where they can read it. So we do have the correct alt tags on there. I'm not 100% sure if we could like automatically click it. Great question though.
I love all these questions. I almost hate to be like, time just flew by and we have about 2 minutes left. But thank you everyone for all of your wonderful, wonderful questions. So Will, if we have friends today who are listening and want to get started, what should they do next?
The best thing is just go to Gratavid and set up some time. We'll give you a demo. It'll be pretty similar to what you just saw, but click on this, set up some time. We can even chat right here if you want to. But that's definitely the best way to get started. And then the demos are first come, first serve. So especially if you got something come up, I'd recommend getting those in. Sometimes we can get pretty busy, especially this time of year. But definitely get those in, and don't feel like if you sign up for a demo, you're committed to using Gratavid. Collect more information, take that back to your team, and that'll kind of start the process.
Awesome. And I imagine Frank will be ready with his clipboard.
I guess he will.
Yeah, I was getting requests to see names on my whiteboard. So if everyone was like, "What is Frank doing?" It's because in the chat people are asking for me to, write their name down. And
that
then,
is incredible.
Someone else just really quick did answer the screen reader question around. They typically do read the hyperlinks, so they're able to identify a video link and play it.
That's awesome. That's great.
Thank you, Beatrice.
Wonderful. Yes,
that's my grandma's name. The sign. I love
it.
A
lovely name. Yes. Well, thank you again, everyone, for spending an hour of your day with us. Thank you, Will, Frank, and Brittany, for all that wonderful information. We hope that this inspires all of you to create more personalized thank yous, whether that be videos or letters or emails. Like Will said earlier, this is not an or strategy. This is an and strategy. So use all of these tools. All of these tools are at your disposal to build those better relationships with your donors. So thank you again for joining us today. We hope we see you in another Academy class soon, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.